Good evening. A former teacher from Herefordshire has been found guilty of abusing young boys in Kenya. Police have described Simon Harris as a dangerous man who targeted some of the most vulnerable children in the world. He was convicted of 5 sex assaults, 2 indecent assaults and possessing indecent images. But jurors acquitted Harris of 7 charges, including rape and attempted rape. It's the first time a British court has convicted a paedophile of offences carried out in Africa. Keith Wilkinson reports.
This is Simon Harris and the images of him he liked people to see, caring for desperate children in Africa. But it all began to fall apart for him on the day police knocked on his door in Herefordshire and took him to Hereford Police Station to face a long list of serious accusations.
28 child victims have alleged that they have been sexually abused, and a number have had indecent photographs taken of them whilst in Kenya. They have identified you as the person being responsible. How do you explain that, Mr. Harris?
No comment.
Simon Harris ran an organisation called VAE Kenya, and this was a promotional video he made.
VAE is an organisation that brings gap year students or postgrads to come and teach in rural, poor, primary or secondary schools around the town of Gilgil here in Kenya.
But as many children discovered, Simon Harris had anything but good intentions here.
Simon Harris. Ulikuwa kama na miaka ngapi?
9.
9. He was 9 when he met Simon Harris.
In an interview for ITV News, a 12-year-old boy tells this man, who rescues street boys in Gilgil, that Simon Harris asked him to go into his bedroom at the place he called the greenhouse.
I'm sitting here in the greenhouse. This is my home.
An assistant had warned the boy to get out of the house as something not very good would happen. But he stayed and Harris sexually abused him.
Yeah, he said that it was very painful. Chama uambiwe yule ndiye Simon Harris, unaweza kujihisi namna gani? If anybody showed him the picture of Simon Harris, he would feel very bad.
What would he tell Simon Harris himself? What message would he like to say to Simon Harris if Simon Harris was to hear him talk about
it? Kama Ngoso angekuwa mahali kama hapa, uongee naye, unaweza kumwambia nini? He wouldn't like to meet him. He wouldn't like to see him.
Police believe they found as many as 40 possible victims of his abuse in Kenya. They fear there could well be far, far more.
Simon Harris travelled 6,500 miles to a remote village in Kenya with the sole intention, in my opinion, of abusing Kenyan children. He's picked on the most vulnerable children, the poorest children in the world.
He thought he'd get away with his abuse in Africa, but thanks to a video link from Birmingham Crown Court to his victims in Kenya, for the first time in history, British courts were able to prosecute a UK citizen for crimes out there.
Hundreds of families across the Midlands have been left disappointed after they were told in a late-night email that a Christmas attraction had gone bust. The magical journey was designed by Lawrence Llewellyn-Bowen and was sited in the grounds of the Belfry Golf Club, although neither is financially connected to the event. Andy Bevan has this report.
Hello, I'm Lawrence Llewellyn-Bowen, ho ho ho, and welcome to the magical journey at the Belfry.
A celebrity endorsement for a seasonal spectacle. The magical journey promised a winter wonderland like no other. A chance to wander through snow-covered forests, meet real reindeer and enjoy an audience with Santa himself. All for £15 per adult and £22.50 per child. Not cheap, and as of this morning, not open. The organisers have shut the gates, suspended the website and taken the phones off the hook, claiming a major financial backer had pulled out, leaving them no alternative but to close. Nathan Jackson from Tamworth was due to take his family today. Nathan is a lorry driver with little time off, and his stepdaughter travelled up specially from Cornwall.
I was disgusted, to be honest. You know, my whole family is supposed to be coming out on this day. It's the last day for us to be able to spend together. And like I say, with me being working and all that kind of thing, I don't have much time to get to spend with my family. So unfortunately, you know, we're gutted. We've got our days gone now.
The Jacksons are now around £100 down, which they're hoping they can get back from their credit card company. But the real loss, they say, is for the little ones.
It's her first time seeing Santa, first proper Christmas, getting excited and everything, and then sat there last night and get the message up, we're not going anymore. You know, it is disappointing.
This morning I put out a message on social media asking people to get in touch if they've been affected by what's happened here. I must have had about 50 or 60 phone calls, texts and emails from distraught parents. One father told me close to tears on the phone how he'd spent all year saving to take his 5-year-old daughter here. The Magical Journey has travelled a rocky road. It closed just one day after it opened back in November, when furious visitors complained it wasn't finished. It reopened several days later after improvements were made. Although the project was the handiwork of Lawrence Llewellyn-Bowen and boasted the world-famous Belfry Golf Club as its home, neither had any financial involvement in the venture. Nobody from the Belfry wanted to talk to us on camera today, but in a statement the managing director, Lynn Hood, told us, "We are shocked and saddened by the sudden closure of the Magical Journey. The Belfry has no financial operational involvement with the Magical Journey, and unfortunately we know nothing more than the statement they have released. We extend our sympathies to the families who've been inconvenienced and upset by recent events." Lawrence Llewellyn-Bowen has called the closure shocking and says he feels extremely sorry for everybody who's been let down. He's donating his fee for the project to a children's hospice. The organisers of the Magical Journey couldn't be contacted today, but it seems as far as they're concerned,
Christmas won't be happening this year.
And for wide-eyed, excited young boys and girls, that is something no refund can make up for. Andy Bevan, ITV News.
The Sierra Leone High Commissioner to Britain has been in Sutton Coldfield to thank school children who've organised a shoebox campaign to help people affected by Ebola. Students at the Bishop Vasey Grammar School have been filling boxes full of toiletries and toys. The school started to ask students to help when teachers discovered that every school in Sierra Leone is closed to try and stop the spread of the disease.
Having watched the TV documentary about this, that we needed to try and help and provide some support. So one thing led to another. It was originally Year 8 students. We then managed to get Year 7 students involved, and it was a snowball effect in which the whole school community got involved.
Everyone in the school has brought in loads of stuff, so there's like things from soaps and toothbrushes to teddy bears and things like that, which mean a lot to the children out there.
And some sport for you now. And rugby, Wasps have taken part in their first training session at the Ricoh Arena ahead of their opening match at their new stadium this weekend. The club made the 82-mile move from Wickham to Coventry after taking over the stadium. More than 300 local school children saw the Stars train today on a newly laid temporary pitch. Around 25,000 tickets are expected to be sold for the weekend's clash against London Irish.
I've actually played here twice before, for Wasps against Munster and Northampton, so I obviously pretty aware of what it's like in here. But today, you know, with the relayed pitch, it's great. You know, we have some school kids down here. They were making a lot of noise, and obviously because of the bowl shape, it transfers all the way around. So it was great. It was great to be here.
Now, Birmingham has been named as one of the 10 best cities in the world. Travel publisher The Rough Guide praised the city's creative quarter of Digbeth and said the opening of New Street Station next year would make it an ideal time to visit the city. Johannesburg in South Africa topped the list, and Birmingham was one behind the city of Salta in Argentina. Right, a quick look at the weather forecast. Here's Lucy Verisami.
Wishing you a warm winter. Gas Central Heating from Northern Gas Heating sponsors the ITV local weather.
Hello to you again. A very good evening. Well, a breezy and wet night, a soaking for all of us. The rain steady and substantial, but at least it won't be as cold as the last few nights, staying frost and fog free with that breeze. Into tomorrow morning, well, what a difference a day makes. Thick low cloud from the word go. Grey skies, keeping it gloomy all day, patchy rain and drizzle, and a bit of a breeze as well. I don't think we'll notice that the temperatures are back up a few degrees. It will be milder, but we won't feel it, what with the breezy, wet weather. As for the next few days, it stays quite blustery, but at least it cheers up as we roll into the weekend. I'll see you again soon.
Gas Central Heating from Northern Gas Heating sponsors the ITV local weather.
A milder night ahead, at least. Well, that's it from me and the rest of the late team. Do enjoy the rest of your night. Bye-bye.